Welcome back to my channel, Duct Tape Mechanic. In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix a GE washing machine that's making a loud clicking noise and not properly agitating or washing your clothes. So if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more DIY and tinkering videos. Alright, so here is the washing machine in question. This is a GE direct drive washing machine, and the model number is right there. So this video will be pretty much applicable to any sort of GE direct drive washing machine. If you're unsure whether your machine qualifies for that, is most direct drives are labeled so, particularly the newer models. And you can also come to kind of tip your machine on its back a little bit, and if you do that and you see that your machine has this sort of circular motor underneath it, like right there, that's the motor and stator combination that compromises the motor, and that's what makes it a direct drive washer. So that's what spins around. And if your machine doesn't have that, that means there's a belt that turns the transmission, and if it's still making that clicking noise, I actually have a really good video on that issue for the GE belt driven washing machines, and I can link that in the description. But anyways, I'm going to show you what this sound sounds like and what the machine is doing that's causing this issue. Alright, so here is an example of that horrible grinding slash clicking noise the washing machine makes. It just filled up with water and it was beginning to agitate, and this is what it's doing. So sounds horrible, so let's go ahead and try to fix this thing. Also, you can notice that the agitator is hardly moving or not moving at all, and that's because it's not being engaged. Let's do it. Alright, let's go ahead and put this machine on its back. I obviously have disconnected the water hoses and the power as well. So with the machine on its back, we can really see what's going on. So as I stated earlier, this motor makes this a direct drive washing machine. And so what basically we're going to do is we're going to grab the rotor part right here, which is the black part, and try to spin it counterclockwise, and you'll see what it's doing. So I'm just going to grab, there you go. So this machine, the stator, or the rotor I should say, is slipping from the clutch. So that's what's making that noise. So if I do it a couple of times, there we go. There we go. So that's what's actually going on. So basically, there's gears, teeth on one end of the rotor, and that's what lock into the teeth of the clutch. So these they're really plastic, cheap teeth, particularly the one on the rotor, and that's what kind of get ground down. But I'll also show you how to inspect the clutch as well. And oftentimes when this happens, this piece right here, this black piece of the rotor, can often be very loose. This one's actually okay, but it can also be like very wobbly and loose as well. But the noise is definitely coming from that issue right there. Alright, let's go ahead and take this nut off and see what's going on. Alright, so to get that rotor off, we're going to use an 18mm bolt, or a socket I should say, and take that nut right off. So this stator, I should say the rotor right here, is a strong magnet, so you are going to have to use a little bit of force to get it off, unless yours is wobbly already. And as I say that, mine comes off really easily. But yeah, it's really just a magnet all the way around. Alright, so now basically it comes down to whether it's the teeth of the rotor that are grinding, or the teeth of the clutch right there. And honestly, the biggest clue you could do is if there's white pieces, then it's most likely the clutch. While if you notice that the wear pattern on these teeth is not typical or not symmetrical, then it's definitely the rotor. On this one here, if you notice that those are kind of worn on one side and it's making them into this weird shape. These teeth right here, they should be perfectly symmetrical. So that's what's wrong with this one. And I was able to find one online. Unfortunately, there's no part number on this. Even with all of these manufacturing numbers, I had to go back and go into the service manual to find what this part was called, and I did find out. It's actually WH03X31397, and here's that replacement part. So what I'll do is I'll try to actually put the link that should pop up at the bottom of the video, so you can just click on that, and it'll take you to where to purchase a new rotor. So you don't have to worry about part numbers. But so if you go and you inspect it, and this is what the teeth of the rotor should look like. You see they're perfectly symmetrical right here, where the other one was kind of splitting it right there and grinding down one side of it. But if yours is symmetrical and you suspect that your rotor is okay, we can take a look at the clutch, and I can show you how to remove that in a brief overview next. Clutch is a notorious problem in the belt-driven one, but on this one right here, it looks like it's in okay condition. So this is the clutch, it's a spring-loaded piece right here. And in order to get to that, I've already taken this off to examine when I was troubleshooting it initially, so I don't want to do it again, but you would have to remove the stator. So there's 3 bolts, 1, 2, right there, and the third one's on the bottom right there, 3, and the stator will come out. You don't really have to unhook it, you can just kind of put it, there's enough wire where you can just put it on the ground right here. And then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to remove the Wi-Fi module, or the bolts of the Wi-Fi module I should say. So 1, and then there's another one down there, 2, and then also the 1 bolt for the top for the shift actuator, and then you can just kind of hang those as well. That will free up the spring clutch right here, and you can replace that. Alright, before I put the new rotor on, I'm just going to do a little bit of a dab of grease, I should say, on the clutch, so it's so I can prevent this issue from happening in the future. So this is a little bit of grease on the clutch. Alright, so when you put it on, just go ahead and make sure it's all lined up with the shaft and just work its way in right there. Should be good there. Just use the impact to kind of bolt it down. I didn't go too crazy because this is all plastic, so you do want to be careful. Let's go ahead and put this thing back up and give it a test run. So I've got the machine hooked up to my test station right here. Looks like it's on the spin right now. Previously when I tested the spin, it was making this loud clicking noise as well. So basically, if your machine's making a loud clicking noise on the agitate or wash cycle or the spin cycle, go ahead and replace that rotor. It's only like 45 or 50 bucks. But if it continues after replacing the rotor to make that noise, then you probably have to replace the clutch and the spring as well. I recommend just replacing the spring, the clutch, and the rotor all at once. I believe the spring and the clutch are like 20 bucks, so 70, 80 bucks. Just get in there with parts and just replace everything at once, so you won't have to worry about any sort of residual clicking or whether you picked and chose the wrong part. But yeah, if you found this video to be helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up sign.